I've got this new light, it works pretty well. Some might think it's too well. Let's do a dramatic intro. Have you ever wanted to know the best plugins for Adobe Illustrator? Well, you've come to the right place. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to a new video. Today, it's all about plugins for Adobe Illustrator. That's right, I'm bringing one of these top 3, 4, 5 videos to you. If you don't know who I am, I'm a hand lettering artist, logo designer, a YouTube content creator. I've written a book once, and it's all about design and creativity. That's what I talk about. And in context to today's video, I'm going to be showing you 4 different plugins that I use on a daily basis, and if not a regular basis, for Adobe Illustrator to make my life a heck of a lot easier as a designer. This video is brought to you by FreshBooks. Alright, so the first one we're going to talk about today is going to be none other than the logo package. This is in a previous video of mine, but it is still one of the biggest and best plugins that I've ever used for convenience inside of Adobe Illustrator. If you're a logo designer and you do it for a living, so you're a professional designer and you send logos, that means that you need to spend time gathering up your logos, putting them into little areas of artboards and creating basically loads of different types of files, which can take like at least half an hour to do, to send to your client. And then not only that, they might come back to you saying, you know, another designer wants to use these files, but they need this file format for it. And it's an absolute, it's a shambles. Well, if that is you and it has ever been you, then today we are luckily showing you something that will help you. The logo package is a plugin that you basically use inside of Adobe Illustrator. You select the logo that you need, select the logo that you want and different types of logos, whether it's a tagline logo, a logo with a logo, a type logo, an icon. You select them in this box and it will generate them like that. Honestly, it's quick. And not only that, it will save them properly in your system, all labeled, filed, labeled, and everything else. It just looks amazing, and it shaves off that dreaded period of time at the end of a logo design process, which is to gather up all those logos and send it. I've used this for a few different clients now, and it's been invaluable because it means now I don't really have to worry about it, because I know every single type of logo file that they could ever possibly want or need is in the files that I sent them, the print and the web. All of these plugins will be linked down below, especially the logo package. Go and click that link. If you do click that link, I do get a bit of money from it. I do get affiliate income for it, but take it not just from me, but from a lot of designers around the internet. You need this package if you send logos. Honestly, it will save your life or a lot of time. Okay, the next one is called Coolers. You may have heard of Coolers before. I have talked about it, but it was years ago. Coolers is an extension inside of Adobe Illustrator. Extensions are a bit different, but it basically works the same way. If you go to this website that I'm showing you right now, you basically get this website full of different color palettes. You can make your own. You can actually create a color palette and share it to the web for everyone to see, putting labels in it. Well, the great thing about Coolers, they've got an extension that you can put into Adobe Illustrator, so you can access your coolers and everyone else's coolers within that extension. So it helps you so much when trying to come up with different color palettes. You can just flick through it and try out different people's ones. And not only that, the best thing is you can add it to your swatches list. There's none of this like manual putting it into the swatches list by, you know, choosing the color and stuff. You can just add it. You can just press that button and it just adds it straight into the swatches list, which is super helpful for anyone who uses a lot of color. So for anyone who is an illustrator or an artist that use Illustrator primarily. For me, I just generally use this plugin as more of an inspiration hub. So I use Coolers to find colors that I like to use. Okay, the next one, number 3, is Font Self. Have you ever wanted to design your own font, but one you can't really afford the hundreds of pounds that you need for the program and all the time it takes to import, export your different typefaces or your different letters into a font system, kern it and everything else, and then sell it? Well, if that is you, then Font Self has got your back. Font Self is a very affordable plugin for Adobe Illustrator, and it allows you inside of Adobe Illustrator, which is huge, inside of Adobe Illustrator to create custom typefaces. And I mean properly create it, kern it, add it in, it works super well. And you can export it as a web font as well if you do need to. Now, I don't make a lot of typefaces or a lot of fonts to sell, but whenever I do make them, it's generally because I've been commissioned by a brand to create them a logo type design with their very own typeface in it. And with that, that means that I have to use these different programs. Now, since using FontSelf, it has become literally 100 times easier to design fonts, make them, and test them, use them, sell them, give them. Well, if you'd like to start designing fonts and you've thought about it, but you're a bit daunted by it, then FontSelf is actually a great place to start. It's affordable, it's easy to get started, and it walks you through the process as well. Funnily enough, when we talk about the next plugin, Astute Graphics plugins, I did a video for them with FontSelf, teaching you how to do that. So you can actually go and find their videos linked down below as well if you wanted to learn how to use Astute Graphics with FontSelf. All right, so the last one that I'm going to talk about, number 4 today, I'm sorry there's not 5, but there's 4, is Astute Graphics plugins. Astute Graphics are the owner of hundreds of plugins that you can use to make your life easier inside of Illustrator, and it really does make your life easier. It's a monthly subscription now, which is why it's in this video, because I think it's a great deal for anyone who can't afford hundreds of pounds worth of plugins. You basically pay a yearly charge to Astute Graphics to get all of their plugins. Now, the Astute Graphics plugins that I personally use for me are a bit different from what everyone else uses because there's so many, but the ones that I generally use are Vector Scribe, Ink Scribe, Vector First Aid, and there's a few more in there. I think it's like Dynamic Sketch as well that I use because it makes my life easier. Now, if you have problems with the pen tool and you don't like all the hotkeys, I would seriously recommend Ink Scribe. This helps you with your pen tooling and it gives you a better and a more intuitive way of penning your letters or penning your illustrations into Adobe Illustrator. Now, again, those links for the Astute Graphics plugins will also be down in the description for you to take a look at. Now, something else that isn't a plugin, but is very much like a plugin for any freelancer who works as a designer or a creative freelancer making money is FreshBooks. I just want to give a huge thank you to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. Now, if you're like me, you love your plugins and you love your efficiency and intuitive nature of different apps and plugins, then you will love FreshBooks. If you are someone who makes money in design, then it's so important for you to be able to gather up all your expenses, send invoices quickly, and get paid faster. Now, FreshBooks actually does all of this within its cloud accounting app. Not only can you send invoices quickly, gather up all your expenses easily, you can actually view when people have viewed your invoice, you can set recurring invoices, and you can chat with people, with your client inside of FreshBooks about the invoice. And you can see when they've seen the invoice, which is even more mind-blowing than you can imagine. Invoicing is always like a hard topic when it comes to different businesses and everyone's got their own ways of doing it. But the way that FreshBooks has invoicing, it's down to a T. They know exactly what they're doing. And with FreshBooks, you get paid even faster because it offers them ways of paying you in different methods, such as pressing the Pay Now button when they see the invoice. It makes it really intuitive and easy for the person to pay you. But don't just take my word for it. If you actually want to try this out for yourself and see how much it will benefit you, then click the link down below in the description. You'll get 30 days completely free, risk-free to try it out. And also, when you click that link and you go to their website, please put my name in there, put Will Paterson in the place where it asks you, how did you hear about me? Because they need to know who sent them. And FreshBooks have been sponsoring and supporting this channel for a long time. Thank you. Guys, if you like this video and you want to see more videos about the top 5 plugins or whatever we do in the design creative industry, then please press that red subscribe button. If you did like the video, press that like button. Also, if you did not like that video, press the dislike button twice, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. See you soon. Goodbye.